actually, Daddy said it was all right, and Mother went over to the studio, and the minister had said to my mother, you know, everybody at the studios, they run around the streets naked, and they do all kinds of, you know, wild things, you see. So my mother, I think she probably wanted to go and see. And she said it was to see if it was all right for me.
Oh.
But I think she wanted to go peek.
Yeah.
So she saw that that didn't happen. And everyone is hammering and nailing and working very hard at Warner Brothers making movies. I mean, you know, Bette Davis was there. She was the biggest star. So my mother got to see all this exciting life. And she came home and she said, it's fine. Sis can go and make the test. So I went and made the test, meaning they just talked to me on the camera, like the man would just say, and do you want to be a movie star? And I said, no, I want to be a gym teacher. I think they found that rather amusing. That
Now, when you were with MGM, you did ballet classes and all, because they had a kind of core of stars that they were bringing up, people like Sid Charisse and Zsa Zsa Gabor and Grace Kelly. Right. Extraordinary company. Were you overawed to be in that company?
Well, you see, MGM had the greatest stars. I mean, everybody was there. You had Greer Garson and June Allison and Ann Miller and Janie Powell and Katherine Grayson. I mean, you know, everybody was there. And in the morning, we had ballet class. So Sid Charisse, of course, had legs this long, and Vera Ellen had long legs, Ann Miller had long legs. I was the only little short thing, you know, in the class. And even Zsa Zsa, who can't dance at all. But anyway, she would come as a class, and of course, we'd all be dressed normally, but except Zsa Zsa, 'cause she had jewelry everywhere. Then she'd go change her clothes, put on a leotard, and put her jewelry back on the leotard. And then she would be, you know, playing her dance. Isn't this a beautiful step, darling, don't you? And she'd pick her pearls and go, isn't this a wonderful, isn't it? Did you notice my new ring, darling? The whole class she's talking about, you know, the fellow she met and the jewelry that she just got. I think she bought it all and just stuck it all over.
Now, what about Singing in the Rain? It was a fabulous film, of course, and obviously thought of as, if not the greatest, one of the greatest musicals.
I'd say.
How did you get the part for that?
Well, Gene Kelly has one version and Debbie has another version. Gene says that he picked me and that he saw my screen test and that, in fact, that's how it happened. Now, I remember walking into this huge office and Mr. Mayer was a rather short, plumpish fellow, and he had a little bit of an accent. You know, I don't know if it was Hungarian, I don't know if it was a little accent. And so he said to me, now, Debbie, you're going to be in a picture with Gene Kelly. And I was shocked, thrilled, surprised, didn't know what that meant, to do what. So then he says, and he's coming to meet you, and he'll love you, and you're in the movie. It's called Singing in the Rain. At that moment, Gene Kelly comes in the office, and he sits down. And, you know, Gene was always full of it. And in those days, he was...
Full of it?
Yes, 30-something, like very young, a huge star,
yeah.
You know. So he sits down, and I remember Mr. Mayer saying to him, and Gene, I want you to meet your leading lady, Debbie Reynolds. And Gene just stared at me like, who she is, this is it, you know. Now that's what I remember, and I think I remember right. So yeah. There, Gene. But whatever it was, I was happy I got in there. He was such a perfectionist, is a perfectionist. I mean, that doesn't make him bad. I learned how to work. In fact, it's his fault. Now I'm a workaholic. Now I don't know how to stop, you know. I guess that's good, that you learn from the best. Bette Davis taught me wonderful things when I worked with her. We worked in a film called Catered Affair. It was a dramatic film. And I had never known to rehearse that much, just cooking a scene. I don't know, it looks so easy, doesn't it, that you're making a film and you're cooking. It looks... Well, she rehearsed this scene 3 days. We cooked the fish, we mashed the potatoes, we made the vegetables, we set the table, all to dialogue. So that every time that you said a line, it was, you knew exactly when you put the pot down, so you matched every time. So she taught me that. She'd say, now, Debbie, bring the pot over here. I'd say, yes, ma'am. She'd say, now, mash the potatoes and put them in the pan. Bring me the water. Yes, no, that's wrong, dear. Do it again. So this went on, you know, for that. So every time you work with a great talent, you learn a lot.